Guys, let's talk about something important. They're calling a bear trap right now. Where have you heard that before? Oh, that's right. Every time Bitcoin goes for a little run, they say it's a bear trap. And then they show a fancy chart showing like a W or a V or some like M's or N's or whatever. And then like that chart is kind of irrelevant most of the time 2 days later as it continues to go up. Because they'll say that multiple times until they get it right, because eventually it does have to retrace a little bit, but they guess it every single time. I think like when we were at 38,000, they were saying like, oh, it must be a bear trap. It's going to go down to 30K. No, we actually went up to 44,000. Now they're saying bear trap. Now, they might be right this time, but there's just as good of a chance that we go to 46 and 47,000 as well. If they keep on guessing bear trap at every pump, they'll eventually get it right, but that does not take away all those times they actually guessed bear trap and they were wrong, which is a lot of times. And no, this is organic growth right now. There's a lot of news coming in that would actually make people extremely bullish. Let's go over them and why this isn't a bear trap and some kind of mega pump by only whales manipulating the price up so they can dump on you. Let's go over these things one by one. Number one, of course, everyone knows about the Bitcoin ETF. It's coming. It's coming probably in January. Some people will say March, but it's probably in January. Why? Because the SEC has run out of delay tactics for ARK and 21 shares. And yes, the SEC has met with ARK along with BlackRock, Grayscale, Fidelity, and others. So it is most likely they are going to approve a Bitcoin ETF. I'm not exactly sure if it's an in-kind ETF or a cash ETF in January, and that will bring in a lot of money. Analysts are saying about 300 billion, not all right away, obviously, but over the next 3 years, which is still over $100 million a day. That is a lot of buying pressure, and that should make a solid base or ground level for Bitcoin that's quite a bit higher than what it's been in the future. That's obviously reason number one. Number two is Qatar. Qatar is rumored to be putting in almost $500 billion over X number of years. Now, I don't think it's actually $500 billion. I think it's less than that because their whole entire sovereign fund is like $500 billion. And I don't think there's any real way they're putting all their sovereign fund into Bitcoin because that would be like kind of insane, honestly. But even if it's like 100 billion, 150 billion over, 5 years or something, it's still a lot of money. That combined with the ETF of BlackRock, Grayscale, Fidelity, ARK, 21 shares, all the others, that will make an even higher base number, which might actually be higher than the current price of Bitcoin. So if that's true, then Bitcoin has to go up no matter what. So Qatar is another reason, and that's a direct cash infusion reason from an outside source that's not into Bitcoin right now. So you might have you will have hundreds of billions of dollars coming in, but you could have hundreds of billions of dollars more coming in from a source that we did not expect a week ago. And until they deny those rumors, people are going to be speculating on it. The worst thing that can happen is like they say we're not investing in Bitcoin, which is really not them taking any money out of Bitcoin. So it wouldn't really make the market drop on a realistic basis. Now, people will react and it would drop if they did say that, but I don't think they're actually going to say that. And it wouldn't actually take any money out of the market. So money can only come into the market from them. It can't go out of the market from them because they're not really in it right now anyways with their sovereign wealth fund. So Qatar is another reason. Third reason, the hash rate is going up, and it's going to continue to go up. How do I know? Well, remember that report about Riot mining? They just bought $291 million worth of Bitcoin miners. That's a lot of Bitcoin miners, folks. A whole crap ton of Bitcoin miners. 10 times their initial order. Now, some of it is due to ordinals, and that Bitcoin might actually try to kill ordinals, but they're still going to use those miners and pump the hash rate up. It's not like they're going to buy the mining machines and not use them. So they're going to pump the Bitcoin hash rate up, and that's going to up the floor price of Bitcoin up to probably past $40,000 after the halving. So that's a bottom level after basically April. So you can't really fall below that after April for very long, or they become non-profitable. And I think there are a lot of powers that are up there that want Bitcoin to actually succeed enough so that like they would actually get the price above 40,000, and it's above 40,000 right now. I don't think there's a long way down to go. I think there's very limited downside at this point. Those Bitcoin miners, they're going to be mining hard. And I think if Riot's buying them, I think Marathon and others would be buying as well. So the overall Bitcoin hash rate is definitely going to go up. Number 4 interest rates are coming down, probably the second half of next year. But Jerome Powell has signaled that they are not increasing interest rates anymore. And, like he's going to do next week this amazing thing called hold interest rates steady. So that should steady the market. He's not going to decrease them, but he's going to hold them steady. That's going to help with the market. That's going to help with that's really going to help with a lot of things, honestly. That's going to help steady people's economic concerns and hopefully bring that treasury rate down so it's more viable to invest in things like cryptocurrencies. But we know it's not going to get harder and it's going to get easier after about 6 months, and people are looking forward to that. Remember, markets are always forward looking. So they're always looking to what the interest rate will be in 6 months, in 1 year, not what it is so much right now. Yes, it is high right now, but it's also it is high right now, but it's everyone knows it's not going to maintain in this high for many years, and it's going to come down slowly starting next year. And also, inflation is coming down. Gas prices are coming down. Yes, gas prices outside my house are like $2.75 right now. They were like $2.50 when I was driving back from Missouri. Missouri's gas prices are a little bit cheaper than Wisconsin's gas prices. Quite a bit cheaper than Wisconsin's gas prices. So they're probably falling below $2.50 right now for the UL88 stuff, which is what I fuel up on. And that is much, much lower than it's actually been for a long time. It is probably over $1 lower than we were at when we were at the high in June of 2022. So gas prices are coming down, and I think they're going to stay down because Europe is switching more to renewables away from basically natural gas, away from oil. China's demand is very low, and that seems to be going to be that way for a couple of years because China's economy is a little bit screwed right now. Their population is decreasing. They can't really use immigration the way that the United States does because no one actually wants to go to China and immigrate there. And their businesses are slowing down. They're losing some of their export markets, and the US and other countries are looking to the Southeast Asian countries for their manufacturing instead of China, both because of cost and because of political reasons, obviously. So China's demand for energy is going to be low. That's one of Russia's major customers. And, India is going to remain constant, but with Europe and China, demand for those both being low, and the US producing more oil than ever at this point, because of that, we essentially have more of a glut of oil than anything else. And they're looking at $40 a barrel of oil, which should put the price close to $2 or possibly below very, very soon. And with oil coming down, it affects the price of everything else because everything essentially depends on oil for transportation, for manufacturing, for anything else. And that should get some prices at least to come down, or at least hold them steady. So inflation is going to come down. With that, people are going to get more confident in the economy as the year goes on. Because if they don't see prices rising, then they're going to assume that inflation is coming down, even though it is more expensive than 2 years ago, obviously, but it's not going to get any more expensive, especially if gasoline keeps on getting cheaper. So that's another reason the crypto market should keep going up, because the economy, honestly, is not that bad right now. It was much better than it was a year ago, and we are pretty much fully recovered from the whole COVID financial thing. So right now, realistically, there's a lot of factors working together to make crypto go up, and not that many making crypto come down. There is Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler in the SEC, but I think the courts have kind of taken care of that at this point. And if you're looking for other people coming into crypto, you're looking at, a Hong Kong gaming firm is going to invest $100 million into crypto. That's called Boya Interactive Directors. They want to allocate $45 million of corporate funds to Bitcoin, $45 million to Ether, $10 to stablecoins such as Tether. So they're going to be pouring money into crypto. That's going to give it another boost. And the robot people, the AI people, Sam Altman, they're actually creating a private Bitcoin credit fund. And the closed fund will offer investors a 5% yield and lend funds in BTC to institutions, which is more adoption of crypto. Once they actually get this, Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler are going to have a very, very hard time attacking crypto. Right now, it's only for Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it will be for other altcoins as well soon in the future. So more and more organizations, more and more industries are actually getting into crypto. And that creates a lot more use cases, and it'll make crypto very, very difficult to actually get rid of because it'll be embedded in the system itself. So you have new use cases coming up all the time as well, plus other countries like Taiwan possibly looking at making crypto legal tender. El Salvador already has. Venezuela is probably looking at it. Argentina has a pro-Bitcoin president. Colombia is looking at it too. So you could have 5 or more countries looking for crypto as legal tender by this time next year. And at that point, it'd be foolish for the US to try to hammer down crypto. Plus, we are getting a lot of donations and funds and lobbyists in Washington for crypto to advocate for our rights or our interests. So the money flow is going to get them to have a very, very hard time battling cryptocurrency because there are senators and congressmen on both sides of the aisle that favor crypto or that are pro-crypto. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. And remember, it's not a bear trap. It is just going up organically. Have a nice day, folks.